What it do, everyone? What's the scenes? How you going? Greetings of peace. Assalamu alaikum. Today I want to talk about aspiring for what you want in this world while also purely submitting or surrendering to God's will or God's plan. For me personally, I notice that when I want something really bad, of course I pray about it, but I also obsess excessively about it. And I also realize my thought process in, do I deserve it? Do I believe that I will achieve it? And then also taking awareness of my reactions once the outcome is revealed to me. And so I've been thinking lately about how can I go about aspiring for the things that I want to achieve in my life from a more healthy or holistic standpoint. As a woman of faith, I know that everything happens by the decree of the Creator. That all the Creator has to do is say kun in Arabic, which means be, and it'll happen. Nothing is impossible for God to do. And that when I call out to God, God is always listening and will always respond. I think we get caught up in having this vision or this end result to be a specific way, and even when we have the full trust in relying on God to listen and respond to us, sometimes we get caught up in the answer not showing up in the way that we desire. And so what I've been thinking about lately in my personal life is celebrating and acknowledging the ways that I use my free will to go after what I want, what we call tying your camel and trusting in God or trusting in Allah, which is like, okay, if I ask God to protect my home, what am I going to do to ensure that I'm going to lock my door and trust that what I can control, God is going to take care of in the unseen in protecting my home. And it's the same thing when we put ourselves on this journey to achieve whatever it is that we want. It's identifying it, going after it, but also asking for God's aid and success in it, but also trusting and believing that God's plan for you, for myself, is for what's best. That God is not like us humans, petty and spiteful. And, I think we have to have what I've learned in Arabic is a term called Hosno, having good thoughts of the Creator. And so as I think about the things that I want to achieve, I start to ask myself, how are you going to go after it? But also at the same time, know that God's not going to forsake you. God's not going to play you. And God's going to ultimately give you what's best. Because I know me. I know that feeling of disappointment when I want something, it doesn't happen the way that I want, and I feel slighted, I feel sad, I feel frustrated. But as I mature in my spirituality, as I strengthen my faith and understanding of the Creator, and I start to go down memory lane and look at all the things that I've achieved already in life, or the hiccups that I've experienced, and I later see with hindsight how it really didn't derail me, but if anything, it put me right exactly where I need to be. It's like now I want to go into situations asking Allah for help, having that husnul dhan, having that good thought of Allah, reminding myself of du'as that to say, verses in the Quran that affirm God's promise that He has made to His servants that solely call out to Him when they are in need. And another thing is to continuously praise God. Not saying I wasn't doing this, but ultimately, regardless of what happened, praise God. How merciful and how spoiled, rather, that's the word I really want to use. How spoiled are we as a species, as a creation, to have a Creator that orchestrates everything for us, whether we ask or we don't ask. And in this moment, I'm really grateful I'm starting to think about ways to have better God consciousness, to have a better or healthier approach to using my human experience to stay in alignment with accepting God's decree. Of course, I'm human. I'm going to feel sad. I'm going to feel frustrated. I may feel angry. but not getting so caught up in the emotions, number one, or what I typically do, not trying to shut off my emotions and just rationalizing my faith instead of realizing that there is a balance. There's a balance of, you pray hard, you strive for something, you don't exactly get what that thing is, you cry about it, but then you say, God, you knew best, and I asked you for your will to be done, and it is done. And after I shed my tears, I will get myself together and remind myself that your decree suffices. Because down the road, you'll have a thought like, I remember I was so upset about that, but man, I got better. Or man, I'm glad that didn't work out because I was protected from something. You know what I'm saying? Or you get exactly what you want. And so this is just a reminder to myself that I don't want to continue to have this this fear to go after what I want because I'm afraid that the outcome is not going to be what I want, or to have this extreme assurity that I'm going to get exactly what I want and be disappointed that it didn't come out that way, but to slowly go into the situation saying, Ya Allah, I want this. Ya Allah, aid me in getting this, and Ya Allah, grant me what is best from this, and Ya Allah, enable me to accept what you have decreed for me, and actually in my heart, in my tongue, in my being, be okay with it. Even after the tears and the frustrations, at the end of the day, understand, trust, have conviction that God did what's best for me. If you're struggling with that, I hope this video enables you to really sit and to reflect on how you can better approach asking God for aid and accepting God's decree. Peace. Assalamu alaikum.